Hello everyone, in this machine learning programming series. Again I welcome you, and already we have started our part 1 with the Numpy, the numeric Python technique to store the data. In my past tutorial about Numpy, we have started with and we have discussed about the difference between Numpy and the list in terms of their performance, in terms of their memory management, and even in terms of their arithmetical operations. Today we are going to start with some of the commands which are required to do the data manipulation over the machine learning projects, and to deal with the data we need some of the commands that we are going to discuss today. So here we have to start with my techniques that how we can manipulate the data using the Numpy memory. So first of all, I'm going to switch over this editor board, the whiteboard. And even we know one thing, as we have discussed earlier, that Numpy creates a memory, and that memory can be considered as 1D, 2D and 3D. So I'm going to create this Numpy one-dimensional array. So that is a one-dimensional array. So Numpy is a module, and what we implement with the Numpy, we generally implement the arrays over there. So here we can say, here we have this term named as array. So, and especially I'm talking about this 1D array. Now we know one thing, that while defining this one, the location over here, that will be considered as 0, that will be considered as 1, then that will be considered as 2, then that will be considered as 3, and then that will be considered as 4, and that will be the continuous location we are having. Then we should assign some data, 5 over there, then here also we can assign some data. So this is actually a kind of Numpy memory we are going to define somewhere in the RAM. So here we have this one. So this is a kind of Numpy one-dimensional array, where every of the location will have the index value starting from 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And we can say one thing, that it will be a continuous memory. As we compare with the list doesn't have any continuous memory if technically we observe this one. And that actually is the reason that how the performance of the list is slow as compared with the Numpy 1D, same kind of memory for the same data set. Clear? So here we have this 1D array, and that is actually the way to define this 1D array. Now we'll start with this one, that how to start with the 1D array. So we'll have this one. So I'm going to start with the Google Colab, and then we'll see how to start with the 1D array. So I'm using this cloud service for using the Python module, and every of the module which is required in using the machine learning, that is available in this Google Colab. So here I'm going to open this one. This will take a few seconds, and then that will be opened. Okay, fine. So first of all, the very basic package to install, to import in our system will be Numpy. So I'm using this import Numpy as np, and what actually is np right now? Np is an object, that is an object, and by this object we can access different functions of the module. So that actually is the way to how we are going to use this one. So I'm using comment to explain these all things. So I'm going to run my statement. The first one, if it is correct, then automatically the module Numpy with its all functions will be imported in my program right now. So here we have this one. So it will take some time. Till then we can save our program. So I'm going to rename my program as Numpy intro. So here we have this Numpy intro as a name, and now that is successfully working. That means what? Automatically all the module has been imported in my program. So now we'll start with this one. So my first program is creating a 1D array. Clear? So I'm going to create a 1D array like this one. This actually I have to create over there. So for this, let's say we are having this arr1, that is a variable name, and that variable I'm using for this 1D array. I'm using the command np is my object, and there is one function named as array. So that means what I'm doing, array1 equals to np.array, and this np.array, np is an object and array is a function defined under the module numpy. That's why we can call this np.array. So now I'm going to define the elements over there. So my elements are, so let's say these are my elements, clear? So now that means what, this is the static array, static 1D array. Why static? Because I'm defining all the elements in the array without initializing the value in the runtime. So that means what, that is a static array. So now if you want to visualize these things, so visualization means what, that means if I'm going to run this program, that will be the answer over there. So here we have this array a, the elements are 22, 33, 55, 66 and 88. Now we'll have this one, suppose that I want to know that very first location element over there. So I'm going to run this one and then we'll see that what actually the result over there. So here we have 22. Now same as if I have to know about the last location, my last location is ARR1 of 4, and I'm going to run over there, so that will give 88. That actually is a representation of this kind of array. So that actually is a 1D array. Clear? Now this is the way. Now second thing is that if we want to know about the dimension of this one, and the meaning of dimension is under which category generally it comes. So here I'll use ndim and dimension, and then see what is the result over there. So result is coming 1. That means what, it will give the dimension. So dimension of the array. So dimension of the array will be given by this particular ndim function. Clear? So here we have this one. Now, so after this particular one, they're creating a 1D array, and then statically I have defined the array in this way. Now if we want to know about the shape of this one, so we can use this one arr1 dot shape. So we'll see that what actually is the answer over there. So shape is coming 5. 5 means what, that these are the 5 elements in the vector 1D array. Clear? Now starting with this one, so here is to define, to knowing about the shape, that is either 1D, 2D or 3D. So these are the way to define this particular one. So here I've used only the 3D one, 1D one. That's why we have used this one in this way. Now the important part, that if I want to store the data during the runtime means when the program is going to run, then how we can save the data over there. So we'll see over there that how we're going to save. For this one, suppose that is my array arr2, where I'm going to initialize the data during the runtime. For this one, first of all, we'll use a function name as np.0, np.zeros. Clear? And now this np.zeros will have some shape. Shape will be what? Shape will be, I'm going to define the number of elements over there. So let's say I'm going to define one 1D array. So my elements are 5. These are my elements, and the type, because that is a homogeneous type of memory. So we have to define the type over there. So d type will be equals to int. That means what? Only the integer types of value will be generated over there. So if I'm going to run my program, then we'll see what is the answer over there. So now we have to display the elements in this particular arr2. So here we have these elements over there. So that means what? We have these 5 locations, and in this 5 location cell of this arr2, that is actually the numpy array. So the elements are 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. That means what? We have taken this int. That's why it is giving 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. If I'm going to assign over here as float, so we'll see that what actually the answer over there. That will give 0 0.0 0.0 0. So I think by this homogeneity factor, it generally define, either we have to define this in the fractional form or the non-fractional form. So here we have this one. So right now we are using this arr2 as an element like 0. Now after this one, so this 0 is what actually, this assigns the elements in a 1D arrays as 0. So that will define it as zeros. Clear? So this is all about this one. So now the main topic is that how we are going to initialize the value during the runtime. So we'll start with our program. So first of all, we have to calculate the length of this particular ARR2. So here I'm going to define this length, and that will be stored in the variable L. So L equals to length of ARR2. Length of ARR2. Now we'll start with the for loop. So for I in range, and then we'll initialize the value right from 0 up to L, and then plus 1 will be by default the increment order of the loop. So here we have this one, 0 comma L, and that will be this one. Now first of all, I'll initialize my data, and that will be data equals to, now I'm using this d type as int, so that's why I'm going to use this data type as an integer one. So here I'm going to define enter my data. So now we'll see that how it is going to work. Now we all know about this ARR2, that is ARR2 0 location is this one, first location, second location, third location, fourth location, and every location is void or empty right now. So we can consider one thing, that my variable name is ARR2 and its location is I, because the index value is going to start from 0, and then we are going to fill data over there. So यहाँ पर हम data की filling करते हैं, and now that is the indentation, outside indentation, then I'm going to define what actually are the elements over this ARR2. So I think this one will be clear to you, that we have to use first of all the zeros one, and this zero function basically do what? It generally create a 1D array with the 0 element by default, because we cannot create a type of empty array. So empty array means what? We can assign 0 over there and we can override the value by some different one. Okay. Now we'll run this program, then we'll see that what is the effect on the output. So here I'm going to give the command to run my program. Now it is asking me about the data. So my data, the first value is 12, second value is 55, third value is 99, fourth value is 77, and my fifth value is 66. And here yes, now that means what? Every time I was entering the data, and that has been filled over this particular location. Even you can check your data first. So suppose that I'm going to assign ARR2. So here we have this one, print, so initial array, and then we have this one, final array. So that is my initial array, and then that is my final array. So I'm going to define this final array in this way. So print final arrays, and then here we have this one. So now we'll see that how the betterly the answer is going to come over there. So yes, here we have the initial array is this one. Now I'm going to run my program, and I'm going to fill the elements over there. Yes. Okay, now some problem is there. इसको रन करते हैं दोबारा से. 2, 3, 6, 8, 7. So here is my final array. So initial array was 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and now my final array is 2, 3, 6, 8, and 7. So in this way we can assign the elements over the 1D array. Okay. Now we'll start with the new cell. So if we want to know the, just wait a minute, if we want to know about the, we want to know about this ARR2. So here we have this ARR2, and we want to know about the each row. We have to display the result of the each row. So we will see that how it is going to work. That actually will give the first element of each row. Okay, actually it's taking some time, so I'm going to switch over the next cell. Okay, now so the second one is that creating the 2D array. So now we'll start with the 2D array, that how we are going to create this 2-dimensional array. Let me clear you one thing about this 2D array. This 2D array is something like the arrangement of rows and columns. So we can define this one by this way. So let's say we have this arrangement of rows and column. We can define in this way. Just wait a minute. Okay, now so that is the arrangement of rows and column. So suppose that we have to define this 2D array. So we can define this one. So 2D array is the arrangement of data in terms of rows and column. That is a kind of memory which we generally get. So here this axis denotes about it shows about what? It shows about the rows, and this parameter shows about the columns. Now the best part about this one is that there is a row. All the horizontal lines are known as the rows, and all the vertical lines are known as the column, and we can fill the element over here. So this is actually the way that how we are going to fill the elements in each and every of the location. Okay. Now the main thing is that is a kind of matrix actually. So if we are going to perform any operation, any matrix operation, so we generally recommend this 2-dimensional array over there, and that is a part of the Numpy also. And one more thing is there, if we want to know about this order of this particular 1D array, so order means what? The number of rows and the number of columns. So number of rows are 3 and the number of columns are even 3. So we can assign that the order will be 3 cross 3. So 3 cross 3 is the order, where the first 3 is the rows and second 3 is the number of column over there. So that actually is the representation of this one. Clear? Now I'm going to switch over this again, that how to create this kind of 2-dimensional array. So here I am going to use ARR3, that is my new array, and that I am going to define like np.array, and in this np.array then we are going to store the data, and data will be stored by in a way like here we have this one. So we'll start with this one. The first rows elements are 33, 44, 66. That is the first element rows, and second rows elements are 99, 11, 21. So this is actually a way, and even we can define with the third order, and that order will be followed by the element. Let's say the elements are 09, 76, 43, and that actually is the way that how we are going to define this ARR3, and that is a 2-dimensional array. Clear? Now this 2-dimensional array we have defined in this way. Now we'll suggest the data over there. So now we'll see that what actually is ARR3. So I'm going to run this program. That will give me the output that how the data can be arranged in terms of matrix over there. So we'll see the result. Okay, there is a problem over there. So invalid token. Let's see what happened. Okay, when we have defined this 2D array, in this 2-dimensional array there is one problem over there, and the problem is actually that while using this 2D array we have to define the element. Let's say I'm going to define this one in the 2 cross 2 order. Let's see what happens here. Okay, fine. One problem was there in the brackets. Okay, fine. Now that is my 2-dimensional array. So मैं इसको 3 cross 3 में convert करता हूँ. So 5, 22, 19. That is the order of the 3D array. Now that is actually 2D array. So here we have defined this one. So this is the way to define this kind of 2D array. So that actually is showing me the matrix kind of location. So, and if I want to know the very first location of this ARR3, so I can define this first as 0 and 0. So we'll see that what actually is the answer over there. Okay, fine. The meaning of the statement is that in the first location, 0, 0 means first row, first column, because index value always start from 0 and 0. So that will be 0, 0. That will be 0, 1. that will be 0 2, and then it will start from the second row, that will be 1 0. So that's why we can say that is 0 0. If I want to know about the 0 2 location, we will see what is the answer over there. So here we have the answer as 36. So अगर मैं change करता हूँ, I'm going to use my third row and third column, so answer will be 19 over there. So in this way we can define the elements in the 2D array. Clear? Now the second topic is that how to define during the runtime. So here we have during runtime initializing the values in 2D. Clear? So now we'll start with this one. So suppose that we have one of the variable arr4, and that can be defined by np dot zeros. Clear? Now this np dot zero will define with the statement with the kind, that is a 3 cross 3. अगर हम 3 cross 3 इसमें create करना चाहते हैं, so here we can use this np dot zero. Listen, that will be used by, my order will be 3 cross 3. So I'll use 2 cross 2. So 2 comma 2. That means what? That is 2 cross 2 matrix I want to create. But right now my type will be init, int. Clear? That actually is the way. So अगर मैं print करता हूँ arr4, then what should be the answer over there, that we will check. So here we have this one. So now we'll see that how the answer is coming. Then now yes, it is coming 2 cross 2 order, and the 2 rows and 2 column combination is going to be created by this arr4. Clear? Now we'll start with the next one. So first of all, I have to initialize a value. So here we have to start with the okay, so I'm going to use this nesting in for I in range. For I in range, this R is going to be assigned for the rows. So for R in range, so I'll start from 0, and the total number of rows in my system is what? Total number of rows are 2. Clear? So that will work in this way. Now for the column, then I'm going to use this C for C in range, and here it will start from again 0 comma C, and then that will be the order. Now I have to assign the data. So my data will be data equals to int, and then that will be input. So enter my data. Now this data will be filled in some location. That location will be arr4 of R and then C, and then here we have to store the data. So data will be stored by what? Now we will check. So arr of C equals to data, that is my data value. Clear? Now here I'm going to terminate my nesting in for loop. So after that I can verify my result by printing the arr of 4. So now we'll see what actually is the result. So here we have this rn4 name C is not defined. So C is not defined. Okay, fine. So here I have to define the value, so that will be true. Now I'm going to run the program. Yes, now enter my data. My first data is 12, second data is 36. That means my first row has been updated. My second row first data is 45, and my second one is 88. You can see the pattern over there. The pattern is 12, 36, 45 and 88. So that actually is a way that how during the runtime we can create a 2-dimensional array. Clear? Now after this one, okay, now fine. After this one, so we'll start with the next one. So that next one is what? Okay, so here we have the next one. So if you want to know the dimension of this one, so arr4, the name I have taken, so ndim. By this it is going to print me the dimension of this arr4, and dimension is 2. That means what? It is a 2-dimensional array. Clear? So that is actually the way to define this 2-dimensional array. Now we'll have this one. So first of all, we'll start with the very first topic, that how to use a range function. So here we have this, arrange function, arrange function. Now here I'm going to use only the 1D array. So my topic will be applicable only for the 1D array. So now for the 1D array, I have to use this arrange function. So arrange function को use करने के लिए, let's say I'm going to create one array A, and that will be done by np dot arrange. Clear? And then we'll define this one, that what actually the range we have to suggest over there. So my range will be 100. That means what, I'm going to create one array with the size of 100. Clear? So if I'll print a, that will give me the answer. Let's say we'll take a small value, so I'm going to use 10 over there. So we'll see that what actually the answer over there. So here we have, yes, now these are the values inside this particular one. Clear? Like, suppose that we have to change the values in between, so I can give the range like, so my initial value, my lower limit is 10 and my final limit is 50, and then we'll see how that is going to work. So here we have from the 10 to 50 we can assign the value. So that actually is for the random sampling. Actually, when we try the data for the random sampling, we generally use these kind of statements. Clear? So that actually is the use of the arrange function to assign the to assign the random data with a specific range for testing. So when we test something in the data, we'll see in the upcoming videos on the machine learning. So we generally use to test these data, and that is tested by these kind of statements. Clear? Now we'll have the next one, and the next one is using the emin and the emax function and the min function. So my array is a right now, so I'm going to recommend this a. So a dot min, we'll see the result that will give the minimum value, and the minimum value is 10. You just observe this array, the minimum value is 10. Same as if we generally use this max function, so that will give you the maximum value. The max value is 49, so that actually is the 49. Next we have this sum value. So here we have the sum value, yes, the sum of all. Then we have this mean value. That mean value will be the average of all the numbers upon the total number of values over there. Okay, and then we have this sum and then mean we have done. Then we have this arg max function. We'll see that what actually is a result over there. Arg max, argument max. Okay, 39 is the arg max at 39. Okay, we have to assign the axis over there. So axis is not required. So axis equals to okay, fine. So this is the maximum index value. Means 39 is what actually it is. It is showing me the index value, the address location of the greatest number. Clear? And same as we can use for the arg min, and that will be arg min. So here we can find out, yes, arg min is 0. That means what the index value, the smallest number is 10 and its index value is 0. That's why this number is showing the minimum value index number. Same as we can use for the arg max also. Maximum value. Clear? Now so here we have how to use this arg min and the arg max function. So now we'll start with the next one. So zeros matrix flow already we have discussed in this way. Now we have to use this linspace function. So I'm going to use this a, and my a is, let's say I'm going to use this d equals to np dot linspace, and what actually is the meaning of this one, that we'll see. So that will be 1 comma 50 comma, and then we'll have the increment of the plus 10 over there. So now that is a kind of the linspace function. And linspace function, what it do generally, if I'm going to print this kind of 1D array and then I'm going to run this program, we'll see. Yes, now just check it out. It generally give the equidistant way, that is the starting value, that is my end value, and this is the samples of data over there. Okay, so now that is going to give me the equidistant values on the basis of start and end point. So that is on the basis of the start and the end point. Okay, now we'll see this one, that how this equidistance values is there. That means the 10 values starting from 1 to 50, but these should be the equidistant one. So how it is going to work? First of all, the second value, that is 6.444 up to this location, minus this one, whatsoever be the value, that will be 5 point something, that will be added. If that value will be added with the second position, that will give 11.888889. Same as this value 17.33 and so on will be generated by this value minus this value, and whatsoever be the answer, that will be added with 11, and that will give this 17.333 and so on. So that actually is the way that how we can use this linspace function. Clear? Now we'll have to use the next one. So next one is how to use a vertical stack. So we are going to use this one here. That is the important one. How to use this vertical stack. Vertical stack in 2D array. So I'm going to use this 2D array. We'll see that what actually is the meaning of this vertical stack. So here we have this one. So first of all, let's say I have taken a variable I and the value is np.array. np.array, I'm going to define this 2D array. So how to define this 2D array? We'll see. My first one is 22, 33, 44, and then my second values are 77, 88, 99. So that is my 2 cross 2 matrix over there. Clear? That is my I, and now I have to define my j. So j equals to np.array, and then we'll define some different set of elements. So here we have this one 21, 45, 76. That is my first row, and then my second row is 98, 54, 31. Let's say these are the samples over there. So 54, 31. So now here I'm going to run this program that is going to check yes, or successfully we have created this I and j as a 2D array. Now here we have to use this vertical stack. So if I'm going to use np.vstack, and then I'm going to assign this value of I, j. I'm going to give the I and j as a parameter to this function np.vstack, and then we'll see that what actually is the answer over there. So vertical stack की अगर हम बात करते हैं, you just check it out. Yes, now the thing is that vertical stack means the first 2 rows of I, then the second time the first and second row of j will be added vertically. So this is the way that means the first 2 rows are reserved for I and second 2 rows are the reserved for j. So that means what? Concatenation of 2D's array vertically. Clear? Now same as we can apply for this next one, that is a horizontal H stack. So we can use it by np.h stack, and then we can define the value, and the values are again the I, j. So we'll see that what actually is working over there, how it is working over there. So check करते हैं. Now just find out the first 22, 33 and 44 are reserved for the first row, and then 20 in the first row of the second j will come over there. Then we have 77, 88, 99, that is the second row element of the I array, and then we'll add with this one with the 98, 54 and 31. So that actually is the meaning of this one, that it is concatenating the 2D arrays horizontally. So here we have this one, that is horizontally. Clear? So there's actually a way that how we can apply this v stack and the h stack over there. So zeros function ko already we have discussed in my past in this session only. Now we'll use a random function. So random function already we have discussed in my Python channel, Python playlist. You can go through that random function. That again is a module, and this random function has some speciality that actually works with by importing the random module. So I'm going to import my random module. So here we have this one, import random. So first of all, I have to run this program again so that this import random, so that this random module can easily be imported in my system. So now I'm going to start with this random function. So here we will start with this one. We know one thing. Let's say I'm using a variable g, and g equals to np dot. I'm going to create one more, but randomly I have to assign some value. So that will be random dot rand int. We know about this function rand int, that it needs what? It needs the starting value, comma, and it needs the we can say it needs the lower limit, that is the lower limit, and then comma, it will need the second parameter as the upper limit. Access we can provide over there. Clear? And here we know one thing, that let's say the lower limit, so we can recommend one thing, the value may generate value can be more than lower limit or equals to, and less than and equals to or equals to, less than or equals to upper limit. So that is a way actually how we can assign this rand int function. Clear? So now we'll see that how it is going to print and how it is going to work over there. So we'll see the answer. Okay, fine, that is working, but there is some problem, and the problem is, yes, okay, sorry, I forgot to mention this lower limit and the upper limit. So इसको define करेंगे. So let's say my lower limit is 10, my upper limit is 100, and there should be a gap of 10. This 10 is what actually it is the number of samples actually we are having. So number of sample even we can define, and even you can go through this one, high value and then size we are defining over there, and even we can define the d type equals to int. So by default it is going to create the d type array, integer type of array. So here we have this one. So 10 is my lower limit, and then we have this 100 is my final limit. So any value between 10 and 100 may come, and then the size will be up to 10 only. So here we have this 10. This 10 is showing the size. We can change the value. Let's say I'm having 15 and the final limit is up to 35, and the number of samples are 5 only. So here we can verify by this one. So only 5 samples are there, and in this 5 sample we are starting from 15 to 35. So again and again, if I'm going to run my program, randomly any of the value may come over there. Clear? So any of the value may come. That actually is the way that how we are going to define this one. But now there is one more function. If you want that once the value has been generated by this random function to this 1D array, there should be a uniform value. Means again and again, if I'm going to run this program, it never is going to change its value. So how we are going to use this one, that we will see. So before that, we'll apply one statement. So that statement will be the seed function. So here I'm going to use this seed function. My seed function says that first of all just call the seed function. So seed means fix karna. That actually is the making the random function the stable one. So that will be done by the np.seed. Clear? And I pass any value between this np.seed. So here we have this one, np.seed. So I think that will work. Okay, numpy has no attribute seed, so that will be okay. NP doesn't contain this one because np.random is random module contains the seed function. So here this np.random.seed, now that is working. So here we have this one. So we'll start with the variable like let's say w equals to np.random.randint, and then we'll assign a range, and that range is 3 up to 15, and then there are only 5 samples over there. So 5 samples हम define करेंगे. Now we'll see that how it is going to work. So yes, that is working successfully. So again I'm going to run this program, and then we'll see, yes, 6, 9, 9, 3, 12 are the locations. Again and again, if I'm going to run this program, yes, the values are fixed. That means what? My seed function is working. So ultimately I have to use the seed function once. If I'll use the seed function, then whatever time I'm going to use this random function, the values will be fixed. So that means what? Again and again, now I'm not passing any argument, so values are changing. Just check it out. The values are changing between 3 to 15, and 5 samples are there. But if once we have fixed the value, so I can pass the value like 5. 5 ka matlab hai all the values will be fixed. Now it cannot change its value. It will remain same in the entire time whenever we are going to run my program. Clear? So that is the way that how we are going to use this particular kind of statement. Clear? Now we have this I and j. So now if I'm going to run my next program, so what was I in the last session that we will check? I was 2D array. Clear? So we can change this order of this 2D array. How we can change? That will be np, the variable name was I dot reshape. I dot reshape, and then we can change this value. So here we have, I can assign this one in this way. Here is we have 2 cross 2, so I can assign 2 cross 2 means 4. So what can be the possible factor of 4? It can be either 2 cross 2, it can be either 4 cross 1, it can be either 1 cross 4. So we can define this way. So I'm going to define 1 cross 4. We'll see that how it is going to work then. Yeah? So we'll check. Okay, fine. I dot reshape 1 comma 4. Size cannot be reshape array of size 6 into shape 1 comma 4. Okay, there is some problem over there. Okay, fine. Then I dot shape. If we talk about this I dot shape, so we'll see that what actually the answer of the I dot shape. Two cross 3. Okay, fine. Okay, we were using 2 cross 3, that is 6. So then only we can use this reshape function. So 2 cross 3 means 6. And what are the alternate factor? Alternate factor of 6, that will be 3 cross 2, 3 comma 2. So I can use 3 comma 2. Now we'll see. Yes, now that is working. So that means what? 2 cross 3 go, we can convert into 3 cross 2. That means 3 rows and 2 columns by using the reshape function. So I hope this all concept is being clear to you, and I think that yes, already we have discussed this one. So what I think that already we have discussed all the commands which are necessary and essential for applying in the machine learning project using the Numpy. So thank you everyone. Thank you for your for watching this video, and please like, share and subscribe my channel so that the proper notification and regular notification can be given to you. Thank you.